Hey guys, this is Cody Jones with Jengus Genetics. We got another fun move today. It's a little bit tricky. So I got the cows over here in this pasture, and I want them to come back down this lane, and we're gonna go back up along the road into the next pasture. And so what I think we've got to do, sorry, I'll get you out of the sun. What I think we got to do is we got to bring them down. We got to, again, bring them through this opening here. And then we're going to take them down here. And then once they're all out of this pasture, or out of this paddock here, I'm going to try and come back, shut this gate, and then we'll send them back the other way. That way nothing gets turned around, does a 360 on us. So we're going to try it and see how it works. So stay tuned. A little bit better picture here, what we got going. So the cows are going to come out of this paddock. Then we're gonna bring them down the lane this way, and it's fenced off, it's blocked off down in the corner, so they can't keep going down. So we're gonna get them down, wait till they're all out of this paddock. Then I'm gonna come around and maybe jump this fence, or if they're gentle enough, I'll just walk back by them. I'm gonna come back down, shut this gate to keep them from going back into the paddock they just came out of, and then we're gonna run them down this lane. So a little bit tricky. I think it'll be easier than it sounds as long as we get them all out. So here we go. Sakio! Woo! Sick! Sick! Mine! I've been running these cows for about a week, and they've really settled down. They're doing good. Pretty used to my voice. So it's this rotational grazing, getting to see them every day and letting them know that you're their food source and that you care about them. It really helps settle cattle down, especially if they're pretty gentle anyway. Come on, girls. Sick. And then I roped off that so they can't go up there by the escape into the paddock they just came out of. We're just gonna walk them up here till we see the last ones come out. And they got a little bit of grass in here they can munch on while I walk back by them. Might have to walk the last one or two out. Again, this is easier with two people. You get somebody pushing them, somebody in front of them. But if you do that, just make sure that the guy in the back is he's got a gentle disposition about him when he needs to, and he can be a little faster when he needs to do that too. But with this rotational grazing, I find that usually the faster you go, the more you have to rework your system, and you know, it stresses the cattle more, and that usually is counterproductive. So yep, I see the calves coming out. I'm gonna give this old 623 here a little bit of grain. And didn't bring my stepping stick with me. Normally I bring a stick. I saw a guy use a bucket, and that always makes me nervous because this wire's 6,000. Oh, that cow just hit it. It's running 6,000 volts, so you don't want to hit it. It'll light you up. But there we go. All right, we got them. They're hanging out. They're gonna chew on some grass here. I'm gonna shy away from the tail end again. That's where the nervousness hang out. Until I get this put back together, and I don't want to call them until I'm ready to go either. So kind of be watching at the tail end too. It's not always just your more nervous cattle. Sometimes it's your cattle that have some issues. In nature, you know, the last animal through the gate's usually the one that gets eaten by the lion or the wolves or whatever. And that's kind of what we, you know, running somebody else's cattle, that it's just something to look for when you're running someone else's cattle. If something needs doctored or something's lame or limping or a little bit wormy or needs attention, they'll usually be at the back. So we're gonna hurry up here and take our wire back over. Again, this is the one they just came out of. We didn't graze it very hard. I'm not a serious professional as far as being able to, haven't done this for a whole lot of years. So coming into this farm, we came in towards the end of May, and the landlord pulled most of the cattle off on early December, maybe a little bit earlier than that. And since he's rotating, I'm betting some of these were 2 or 3 months ahead of that. And so the grass was 18 to 20 inches tall. And it'll be interesting to see. Wish I'd talked to some more people about it, or maybe I should. But the thatched to grazing ratio, I've always heard graze half, leave half, or graze a third, tromp a third, leave a third. And this stuff being 18 inches tall, it's going to leave quite a thatch if I don't hit it a little harder. But if you hit it too hard, you know, some patches are going to be worked into and leave bare dirt. I don't want to do that either. So I'm going to kind of watch it, and you know, if we have to do some brush hogging or something, I want to make sure that we've got plenty of winter grazing to come back into, especially when you're, you know, paying money for rent or owning your own land. Even, you know, you want to get the most profit per acre you can get without hurting the soil or anything like that. Long-term profit. So we're gonna call these girls. They're ready to come. 6:23. Hadn't finished her grain yet. That could be a problem, but she's gentle, so we'll be okay. We'll go back and get her. Sit. Fine. Going from front to back like this also, you know, not the real wild, or not the real nervous ones, but all the, I keep saying wild, nervous maybe be better. None of these are wild, but some of the more nervous ones that have seen a bucket before, they get trained to you from the back. So kind of a mean trick to them. They thought they were going the other way, but they got 10 more acres of grass they're about to walk into. It's going to make them real happy, so maybe that'll make up for it. Another thing I guess I can talk about, I do have the gates closed at both ends of the lane, just in case something happens. They got out through one of these poly wires or something, and we've got the road fence up, and it's pretty hot. So I like having a good perimeter fence, if nothing else, a really, really hot perimeter fence. So just some things to think about if you're going to get into this custom grazing thing. And I debated this morning leaving this bucket behind. They don't really need it. They're, like I said, they're trained to me already. But we've got it, and it'll go bad. Dad always said, you know, 2 weeks in a bag is probably about all you really want to keep. So I've got some of it in an old freezer. It'll probably last a little bit longer, but the bags I got didn't have room for. We're gonna go ahead and feed those up. There is a white wire crossing here. And I kind of put this at an angle, but we're getting ready to come in right in here, so I'll kind of lead them in an angle going into the paddock. If you're going to drop grain, you don't want to drop it somewhere where something's going to stop and you're going to slow your whole process down. Count them as they go through. Woo! There we go. I'll give them the rest of this bucket of grain, and they're going to be quite happy in here for the weekend. Thanks, guys. Have a good week.